everybody, my name is Mars. You can call me MG if you would like, and today I am going to be going over the 24 books and series that I said I wanted to read in 2024 and talking about whether or not I actually read them. Spoiler alert, I did not complete this list. I did read most of the things that I wanted to, but not all of them, not by a long shot. So there were 6 different categories, each with 4 books or series in them, and we're just gonna go category by category and talk about things. So let's get on to it. So the first category was physical TBR books, and the 4 books on that list were Inferno by Dan Brown, The Penguin Book of Women Poets, which has a lot of different poets in it, The Diviners by Libba Bray, and House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielewski. And I'm happy to report that I read 3 of them, and I loved all of them. I did vlog my reading experience of the House of Leaves, so I will link that down below, and I will also find the vlog where I read The Diviners, because that was one of the books I read for the Magical Readathon Autumnal Equinox semester, so I was vlogging all the books I read for that, and The Diviners was one of them, so those will be linked in the description along with a lot more vlogs, but we'll get there. So I read those 3. I did not read Inferno. This book is my albatross. Like, I bought this in 2017 while I was in Italy. I was in Florence, and this, at least in part, takes place in Florence. I meant to buy it in Italian because I thought that would be fun. I'm stupid, and I got a regular English copy. I'll read it one day. I've never read a Dan Brown before. I did used to own, what is the really popular one? The Da Vinci Code? But I unhauled that because it was like a kind of a crap copy. I didn't read that. And I know the Inferno and the Da Vinci Code are part of the same series, but you can kind of read them in any order. So I will read Inferno eventually. This just wasn't the year, even though it was on my shelf for 7 years. None of them have been the correct year for me to read this. It's just so thick, and the font is so small, and it's not a genre I read, like, ever. So, one day I'm gonna read this, I promise, and I'm gonna vlog it for you guys when it happens, because it's gonna be a momentous occasion, so look forward to that at some point in the future. Next up was ebooks, and so I don't have anything to hold up for you physically, but I will put the covers here. I also have my reading journal to reference, because otherwise I won't remember, like, the names of everything. So we had Servant of the Crown, The Seeker's Shadow, Beautiful Demons, and The Paranormal 13, which is like a collection of, I actually think it's 14, because I think there's like a bonus novel, and I just wanted to read one of them. I didn't finish any of these. I DNF'd The Seeker's Shadow because I did not enjoy it whatsoever. That was also for a vlog, I think. That was that the Magical Readathon Spring Equinox? I think so. Either that or Tomes and Treasures, because they took place during the same month, and I vlogged them together, so it really doesn't matter if it was for one and not the other, but it might have been for both. I don't know. That's the only one that I tried. I did not read the other 3. So, Beautiful Demons, though, would have been a reread, so I, like, kind of have read it, just not this year, so it really doesn't count. So I am counting The Seeker's Shadow as read, so that's 1 out of 4. So, total right now, we're at 4 out of 8. The next category is manga, and I wanted to binge read these manga series. They were Monster by Naoki Urasawa, which I did read and absolutely loved. I thought it was so good. Claymore, did not touch. Assassination Classroom, did not touch. And then Dorohedoro, which I did read, and I absolutely loved it. And both Monster and Dorohedoro, I really, really, really want to watch the anime, because I've heard good things about the anime adaptation for both of those series. So we have 2 out of the 4 for that. So now we are 8 out of 12 have been checked off. That is, no, 6 out of 12. I can't count. We're still at 50%, guys. So After that was the new releases, and I have one physically. That is Tender Beasts by Lizelle Sambury, which I did read, and I absolutely loved it. I don't think I enjoyed it quite as much as Delicious Monsters, which is a fantastic book. That was her 2023 release, but I still really had a great time and would highly recommend this if you are into YA horror. It was so good. Then we have Heavenly Tyrant, which I did not read because it is not out yet. It is coming out on Christmas Eve, so I probably won't even get a copy until the new year. It was supposed to come out earlier, but this book had its date pushed back like 11 times in the past, like 3 years. I don't even remember when Iron Widow came out, but it's been a long time. But hopefully it'll actually come out this December. I did see Sharon J. Zhao posting about receiving proof copies, so that's a good sign. So I didn't get to it this year, but hopefully next year. Then we had A Crane Among Wolves, which I did read as an ebook, so I don't have it physically to hold up for you, but I did read it, and I really, really loved this. I thought it was so good. And then finally we have The Wild Huntress, which I did not pick up, I did not read, and I'm really sad about it because this is by Emily Lloyd Jones, and it is set in the same world as The Bone Houses, my favorite book of all time. And I wanted to read it, like, immediately, but it came out around the same time as so many other books I was super excited about, so it just kind of slipped under my radar, and then my mom asked for a list of books I wanted for Christmas, and so I'm like, you know what, I'll put this on my Christmas list, that way I will still get a copy, but I don't have to worry about it right now. So technically I could still read this by the end of the year, but it's not gonna happen. Like, this is gonna be a 2025 read for me, and that's perfectly fine. I'm still very much excited for it. Next up were rereads, and so I have 3 physically, and one I no longer own. That was The Graces by Laura Eve, which I did read. I read The Graces and its sequel, The Curses, and decided that I just did not need to keep The Graces on my shelf, so I unhauled it. That was also a vlog that I'll link down below for you. Hopefully I can keep track of everything I have to link. But the other 3 that were on this list was 100 Cupboards by, what is this person's first name? N.D. Wilson. And I did read that. I'm gonna skip over to this one for a second. The Drowned Woods by Emily Lloyd Jones, which is in the same world as The Bone Houses and The Wild Huntress. And I did do my reread of this. But then we have The Night Watch by Sarah Waters, and I just didn't get to it. I thought about this so many times throughout the year of like, I have to pick it up. I really want to pick it up. I just couldn't make myself do it because this is a really sad book. This is historical fiction told during the 1940s London, when London was being bombed during the World War, and this is a very queer book. Almost every character in this book is queer, and it's so, so sad. I read this in 2017. I think I said that I got my copy of Inferno in 2017. That's wrong. I got it in 2016, so it's been 8 years. Because this I got in 2017 when I was in London, because I was studying abroad in London, and one of the classes that I took was called the London Novel, and we read books that took place in London throughout different time periods to see how the city was built up in literature. Really cool class. I very much enjoyed it. And I loved this book, which is why I still have it. And I want to reread it. I just could not bring myself to, because I knew it would destroy me emotionally, but it is something that I still want to prioritize rereading, even if it's not on another, like, TBR list like this, you know? So I'm gonna get to this, I promise, just not anytime soon. I'm gonna wait until I want a real good cry. And now we come to the 6th and final category, which is series that I wanted to read the whole thing of. So technically there were more than 24 books on this 24 in 2024, but it's fine. I had 4 series on this list, as I did with every category, and they were The Parasol Protectorate by Gail Carriger. Still don't know how to pronounce that. What is wrong with me? The Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer, The Brother Band Chronicles by John Flanagan, and the His Dark Materials series. That's what it's called. Like, it's not the Golden Compass, it has a different name. His Dark Materials by Philip Pullman, and I'm happy to say I read all of these. I have binge vlogs for His Dark Materials, Lunar Chronicles, and Parasol Protectorate because I binged them. The Brother Band Chronicles is a little bit different because instead of binging, I read one book every month for the first 9 months of the year because there's 9 books in the series. And I had a really great time with that. I had a really great time binging the other series. I loved all of them. So I am happy to say that this category has a 100% success rate. So I'm gonna go do a little bit of math to find out my final percentage completed, and let's hope it is higher than 50%. That's what we're gonna hope for. All right, so I've got my journal back out. So for physical books, we have 3 out of 4 checked off. Ebooks, 1 out of 4, which is pitiful. Manga is 2 out of 4. New releases is also 2 out of 4. Rereads is 3 out of 4. And then series is 4 out of 4. So that is, let me make sure that I did my math right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 out of 24, which is 62.5%. So I did break 50% completed, barely. This is a little bit embarrassing, guys. I set these lists knowing full well that I'm probably not going to read everything on them, but like, it'd be so cool if I did. It would be great if I could check off everything. I'm just so bad at it for some reason. I do have a 25 in 2025 list. I don't remember if it's going up before or after this video. I think it's coming out before this video, but don't quote me on that. It might not. I truly don't remember my vetted schedule off the top of my head because that's so many videos. But we're gonna hope for higher than 62.5% completed this time next year. So you'll have to stick around to find out if I do it. But with that, we've come to the end of this video. If you've enjoyed it, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. You can subscribe to my channel for more content, and that way I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, everyone!